Hey, it's Dr. Jarret. Welcome everyone. It's my Tuesday afternoon live stream on Facebook Live. I'm here every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Find me on Facebook at Dr. Jarret, spell out Dr. J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T. And I'm here to talk safety tips, parenting tips with you every week on Tuesdays on Facebook Live. I will begin by just saying we've had quite a rough last couple of weeks. We have a lot of people in pain who've been ravaged in Texas and Florida, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands by natural disasters with multiple hurricanes recently, and people are still suffering and try to rebuild. So again, as you've heard me say before, my heart goes out and prayers go out to those people that are severely affected, really just trying to get the basic necessities of life back. In addition, we are faced with a national tragedy just this week in Las Vegas, where we've seen and witnessed just a horrific display of gun violence. So again, people affected, all of Las Vegas, families and friends of the individuals directly involved. My prayers go out to you as well, simply because this has to be quite a difficult time. And while I'm on the subject of Las Vegas, if your child has been exposed to a lot of the media around this, it's okay to have a conversation with them. Even young children may know more than what you really think. So it'd be okay by starting just to ask the question, what do they know about these tragedies, and how you can help them through it? Because these things, as they are all shocking to us adults, they're also very shocking to others that have been involved in these, and especially young children. So you're going to want to make sure your kids are safe, and you have those discussions with them so that they can express their feelings to you, and maybe you can help them through the feelings so they do not have additional feelings of anxiety or guilt or worrying. Hey Asher, thanks for joining today. I was just saying, if anyone is having trouble with their kids being adjusted to what's going on in Las Vegas, they've been exposed to media, just have a conversation with your people and make sure that you talk to your kids, because they tend to know more than what you think they know. Hey Dr. Sam, thanks for joining in today. As I wait for a few more people to join the room this afternoon, again, it's every Tuesday live streaming on Facebook Live. You can find me here. Some of you guys may have seen my teaser on Periscope or on Instagram earlier this afternoon, and as you know, today's topic is all about guns and gun safety and what you can do to help protect your children and keep them safe. So again, thank you guys for joining in. And for those out there in the world, just let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Jarret. I'm your board certified pediatrician. I'm here to help you parents out there take better care of your children through safety tips, behavioral advice, and I'm going to do this through my books, my programs, my live streams that I'll have forthcoming to you. So stay tuned. Make sure you go to Dr. Jarret page on Facebook. Spell out Doctor, that's J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T, and like my page. You can follow it for all the recent updates. If you do follow the page, you'll see it. A lot has been in the media. There's a lot of journalists have been requesting my advice on a number of pediatric topics. So you're going to see a long list of articles from babies and infants and toddlers all the way through your teenage kids that will provide good advice for you guys so that you're there. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for for being there for me. Hey, Javi, thanks for joining the room today. I appreciate it. So we're going to get into the talk today. In light of Americans really value our Second Amendment and our right to bear arms, one of the things that we'll find that between 40 and 50 million people in this country have some sort of guns. A lot of them are out there as the form of handguns. Almost half of them are handguns. The other bunch of them can be rifles, and people use them for all types of reasons. They use them for personal protection, they use them for hunting, they use them for sporting, whether it's target shooting or just out there in the wilderness. Some people, particularly in the western states, use it as a way of life. It's really how people will go and obtain their food, which is a little different for those of us that live on the East Coast, but it is a way of life. So guns have always been a part of American culture, and certainly there's something to be said there. However, when it comes to your children, it's one of those things that you really have to pay very careful attention to. A couple of tips. Obviously, the first thing to do is, if you have children in your home, not to have guns in the home at all. I know that may sound extreme, but those guns are more likely to injure someone you love or care for, or even the children injure themselves, than the threat of any intruder coming in. And research has demonstrated this time and time again. So if at all possible, do not have any guns in your house. It's one of those things that tend to do more harm than good. And just knowing what's going on out there. Hey Barb, thanks for joining in today. Thanks for coming into the broadcast. We're talking gun safety and your children today. And the first tip is really not to have guns at all in your house. Even if you have young toddlers or young children, especially, remember, we've talked about this before, their curiosity tends to get the best of them. And what you're going to want to make sure that you do is that even with a gun that you think a child would not know how to manipulate, there's enough media exposure to cartoons and televisions and violence, they're going to figure it out pretty easily. And the trigger pull on a lot of modern handguns may only be 3 to 5 pounds, which a young child can pull that trigger. So you need to be wary that your kid is going to be more sophisticated than you think. So first tip, if at all possible, do not keep any guns in the home. Now, for those of you that do have guns in your home, there's definitely some advice that I can give. You're going to want to make sure that your guns are locked away, and they're locked away somewhere safe, as in a safe. So you're going to have either a gun safe, your house safe. They need to be physically locked away. A lot of modern gun safes can have fingerprint IDs, so that you can get rapid access to your weapons if you need them. But you're going to keep that gun locked in a safe, unloaded, away from your ammunition. So that's 3 different steps. Keep your gun unlocked without any ammunition in it, and keep your ammunition locked in a separate place from your gun. So your guns have to be unloaded. You do not want to have loaded guns around your children. Again, remember, many people and children especially have accidents. Usually every other day across the nation, there's some injury or death related to firearms in children. This is a serious topic. Barb says that she's brought up with 20 or more guns at home without gun safes or trigger locks. Her father taught them respect for guns and how to use them properly. And that is a good point, Barb, because one thing that you do in Pennsylvania, for instance, you don't need to demonstrate any kind of knowledge to own a gun. The best thing you could do if you are a gun owner is get to have some gun safety training and learn how to use your gun and respect that firearm. And that way you can bestow those lessons to your kids when they need it later on. Hey Mariana, thanks for joining. Javi says, we need to teach gun safety to our kids so they aren't so curious. This is true, Javi. You are going to want to make sure that your kids are aware of guns and really not to use them at all. And again, the best thing that you can do is have them locked, unloaded, locked in a safe, locked away from the ammunition, have the ammunition locked up separately. You're going to want to make sure that you do that, because that really minimizes the risk of any additional injuries happening. Because again, these tragedies happen to hundreds of children every single year across the nation. So it's something that is very serious in light of our right to bear arms, our Second Amendment rights, and our passion that we have in America with guns. So it's going to be very important to make sure you go there. So I'm glad you guys are joining in the conversation. If questions come up or further discussions, go ahead and put it in there. Make sure you're sharing my video, because sharing is caring. And I know you care about someone else that you may know that owns a gun, and they need to get this information to help keep their children safe too. So be sure to share the video, because sharing is caring. Again, I'm Dr. Jarret. I'm your board certified pediatrician. I am here to help all you parents out there take care of your children in a way that is going to help their behavior, their health, and their safety. And I'm going to do that through my live streams every Tuesday on Facebook Live at 1 o'clock Eastern, through my books, through my other programs that you have forthcoming. Make sure you go to my Facebook page at Dr. Jarret, spell out Dr. J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T. Make sure you like my page, and that way you can follow all the updates. So thank you for sharing, Javi. I appreciate that. Barb also says that their family took hunter safety courses. Great idea, Barb, because you need to learn about guns. And if a gun is a strong part of your family culture, make sure you're getting that culture to your to your children as well. So it's something you guys can do together. But I can't overstress, keep those guns locked. The kids cannot have access to those safes where the guns are locked. And then lock your ammunition in a separate safe. Your gun is unloaded in a safe. Your ammunition is in a separate safe, both locked and not accessible to kids. Thank you guys for joining the room. You can join the chat below and say hi, but we're talking gun safety today. One of the other things that happens here with our children is that in teenagers, we talked about depression in an earlier video a couple of months ago, and we talked about the ills of depression and how depression is going to be screened for in your child's doctor's visits. Depression, if you have a mildly depressed child or a severely depressed child, access to handguns and suicide is a real topic. And we get a lot of suicide deaths due to handguns because it is a quick and accessible and final method of suicide in a lot of teenagers. So, and tweens as well. So you, again, please make sure you're keeping those locked and away from the children. Best practice is not to have guns at all, but I know many people do, as 40 to 50 million people across the U.S. have guns, whether they're rifles or handguns. Make sure you're keeping them locked and away from your children. Another tip, as several of you guys have commented on, is making sure that you discuss guns and gun safety with your children. And that alone is not enough, because they'll know they're dangerous, but their curiosity is really going to overcome them and get the best of them. So it's going to be one of those things that you're going to want to make sure that, yes, they understand that guns are dangerous and they can get hurt, but like almost anything, and we talked about childproofing your home just a couple of weeks ago, and looking at those safety tips, this is just another childproofing method, because your children's curiosity is really going to get them into some trouble with guns. So, as a recap, I just want to thank all of you guys for coming here today. Barb says that she got the highest scores in her hunter safety course. Way to go, Barb. So I will again recap what we're talking about today. It's gun safety, how to keep your children safe in all of this time. Americans have a constitutional right to bear arms. That will unlikely be going away. So we have to find ways to help keep your children safe during these times when people may have guns in their homes. So number one, if you don't have to have a gun at all in your home, simply don't have a gun in your home. That is the most likely and surefire way there won't be any gun injuries or deaths in your home. If you must have a gun, whether it's for sporting or protection or any number of reasons, just a collector, make sure you have those guns locked away from your children. Keep the guns unloaded in a safe. Keep them locked. Only you have the combination or adults in the household. Keep the ammunition locked away separately from the gun. And I know a lot of people say, well, in an emergency, if I need it, I need quick access to it. Let me tell you, it is much more likely that that gun in your home is going to injure someone you care for or love than an intruder. So keep that in mind when you're talking about gun safety. Trigger locks are an additional point of protection that you can have. You can actually have trigger locks that block the trigger from being operated. So that's an additional layer of safety that you might want to use in your guns at home, whether they're rifles or handguns. They have trigger locks that you can get at your sporting goods stores that will help take care of that. And at the same places you can get your gun safes of various size, from very small size to almost walk-in size, depending on how many guns you have. And remember to keep your ammunition locked up separately. Particularly in teens who know how to operate guns and maybe have grown up with guns in the house, it's important to keep them away from there, because tragically we see too many suicides, completions that happen at the hands of firearms, and a child that wasn't even known to be depressed. So there are a number of reasons that you're going to want to keep guns either out of your home or completely locked away, unloaded in a safe, to protect people, because with our American gun culture, we know that they're out there, but I want you to be safe with your kids and take care of them. Thank you guys all for tuning in today. As you know, I'm here every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, Facebook Live. I'll give you a teaser on Periscope or Instagram if I can. And I know if you guys saw that earlier, you're probably wondering, what am I going to be talking about today? But I am Dr. Jarret. I am your board certified pediatrician. I'm here to help you parents out there take better care of your kids. I'm going to do this through my books, through my live streams, through my programs I will have available to you. I will also would like you to go to my Dr. Jarret, Jarret1T, and like my page, follow it. You'll be up to date with all the most recent updates that I'll have as far as when that book's coming out. A lot of you guys are asking about that. Oh, you stay tuned. There'll be a couple of them coming. Finally, share this video. You'll find somebody that you care about. You know they have guns in their homes. Share this video so they can keep their kids safe. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.